Back here, Minnesota's governor is pushing back against the ongoing federal immigration crackdown down in the Twin Cities. In a news conference today, Governor Tim Walz calling the crackdown, quote, political theater by the president. According to the Department of Homeland Security, federal immigration agents have arrested hundreds of people during Operation Metro Surge. The Department of Homeland Security leaders say they are targeting people with deportation orders, but Governor Walz says their immigration enforcement tactics are putting people at risk.
I think it's pretty clear to all of us exactly what this president is doing. He's targeting states and communities that he has a national political fight against and that he doesn't agree with.
The governor has sent a letter to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem in early December saying these arrests of citizens on the scenes of recent ICE operations have also raised concerns.